chapter annual meeting. We will be celebrating a successful year. We will acknowledge the work of our members and install our incoming leaders. Our chapter was 351 members strong at the end of the year. This includes the dream catchers and assistings. In addition, there were others from the community who worked along with us. They numbered 129. And that includes the community volunteers, the Edison High School students, and the El Viento students. Our total service hours were 60,468, and I believe last year was about 55,000. With a value of each hour at $22.14, that converts to $1.3 million that our work is valued. What we accomplish isn't just talk. It begins with raising money, then carrying out our philanthropic programs. It is no secret that we have had a fantastic year. The thrift shop, our major source of revenue. This year's revenue was $498,925. During May, I saw a lot of you doing all that shopping to get us up to the $50,000 month, and of course that would have given us perhaps a $500,000 a year. You are all great. The fundraiser is another source of monies that support our programs and the community. Treasures by the Sea final income was $189,894. Thanks to the willingness of you and our guests to open your hearts and wallets, this was another record achievement. We are giving back over $435,000 this year to the communities, and we have positively affected 10,325 children and adults. So that's great. As we close the year, I am proud and honored to have been president of the chapter. Thanks to you and your commitment and dedication, together we are making a difference in our community.
Thank you very much. We work hard all year, and today we get to hear about all our success. And hasn't it been grand? We're wonderful. We're dedicated. We have kept our eye on the mission to improve the quality of life for children and adults in the community. I know we have made a difference in many lives, and we should all be very proud of that. Today I want to, I'm going to probably start crying just like Carol. Today I want to acknowledge our 35 new members who will now be known as old or seasoned members. No longer privileged. They came in here like gangbusters, signing up for committees, working when and where they could. Prior to joining, some were community volunteers, some were customers. Many are retired teachers, school administrators, nurses. Some are from the business community, and some are all these things rolled into one. They're a wife and mother. They all have one thing in common. They want to help those who need our help. They bring loads of knowledge and experience to help us do our good work. Thank you, ladies, for coming.
I cannot think of anyone more deserving of the Ada Edwards Laughlin Award. Over the past 18 years, she has been a forerunner in making decisions on how to run our chapter. Using her professional career, she has transformed our thrift shop in making it the most successful Assistance League thrift shop in Orange County. She has been my rock. It would be such an honor if this award was given to her during my watch of the thrift shop.
Our thrift store is successful in a large part because of her expertise and direction. Have you received one of her 2 a.m. emails? She thinks of assistant sleep 24/7. Now we need to think of her.
She is a dedicated member of our chapter who has worked very hard to make our chapter what it is today, successful and truly making a difference in our community.
She has served on the steering committee for the remodel of the thrift store, and her input was invaluable. Her expertise has changed how we do business, and her knowledge and experience has been instrumental in making the thrift store the successful it is today.
When our honoree was 16 years old, she worked in a downtown Los Angeles department store part-time until finishing college. It was the beginning of a love affair with merchandising that has lasted 66 years. Her goal was to become a buyer, and she did, becoming the youngest buyer in Broadway history. She once said, "What's it like to be able to do your favorite thing, help the community out, and participate in developing a thriving business all at the same time? Let me tell you, it is the best of both worlds, and it is the story of my world. No one is more deserving than Marilyn Camps for the Ada Edwards Laughlin Award."
Congratulations, Marilyn. Shirley said I would never get this award because I've never been quiet. But you know, I love what I do, and over the years, it's been 18 years, and it's been a real journey. Thank you so much.
The necklace has 1 star, and the person that I have chosen is actually deserving of many, many stars.
So I'd like to take this opportunity to present this copy to Carol, to keep in her library. Her copy.
At this time, I'd like to call all hands on deck. Members of the 2013-2014 board, please come forward and step to the left of Ensigns Dillon and Sincata.
All hands on deck. All hands on deck.
Without any further ado, let's get started. I am being assisted today by Ensign First Class Donna Dillon and Ensign First Class Bev Sincata. They'll present the officers for 2013-2014. These officers have raised their hands, stepped up, and gotten involved with the success of ALHB, and look forward to each one of you doing the same.
Phil, the SSALHB is fortunate to be served by 2 liaison officers. As you know, the liaison officer is the point of contact between the sistership, the local schools, the school districts, transitioning families, and community at large.
Liaison Officer Chris Shield will serve as assisting liaison. She is a retired special education teacher and adaptive PE coach. In her civilian life, she served at Edison High School in the National Charity League prior to enlisting on the ALHB 3 years ago. Chris re-enlisted as assisting liaison because she likes working with teens and reinforcing the 3 R's: caring, serving, and sharing. She has co-chaired the holiday party and served on numerous committees this year. On shore leave, Chris continues her active lifestyle and can be found with Yeoman Ann on the tennis court. Ensign Sincata, please present Assisting Liaison Officer Shield with the cap of her office.
For the 2013-2014 term, I am pleased to present the SSALHB Dreamcatcher Liaison, Chris Fulmer.
Chris Fulmer, Dreamcatchers Liaison, is also a retired educator. She enlisted in the SSALHB 13 years ago. And prior to boarding our ship, Chris was an officer with the National Charity League, has been active in the PTA, has been a Model United Nations participant, has been with several other organizations. She has also acquired vast experience on the SSALHB, where she has been Vice President Philanthropy, she has been Strategic Planning Chair, and she has been Operation School Bell. I guess you could say she's quite a has-been. Chris spends her shore leave with Mike and their children and grandchild. Ensign Sincata, please present Liaison Officer Chris Fulmer with the cap of office.
Very important to the successful future of the SSALHB is the Chief Engineer Navigation, or Strategic Planning Chairman. The Chief Engineer oversees the daily routine operations of the engine room and communicates such to the bridge.
Chief Engineer Susan Bjork, our Strategic Planning Chairman, has strong roots in California. She grew up in the Central Valley, went to college, and began her first job in Northern California. She brings her experience as a manager aboard PT&T and the Marriott Corporation. Since coming aboard the SSALHB, she has served as Strategic Planning Chairman, Vice Chair of Operation School Bell, helped on the Grants Committee, and many other assignments. Even on shore leave, you can find Susan on the water, sailing with her husband Larry. In fact, recently she and Larry were out sailing when suddenly a hand appeared on the sea, and Larry said, "What's this? Is someone drowning?" But Susan said, "No, it's just a little wave." When on land, she spends as much time as she can with her granddaughter Audrey. Ensign Sincata, please present the cap of Chief Engineer Navigation, York's office.
For the 2013-2014, the SSALHB Facility Chairman will be Bosun's Mate Jeannie Boetto.
Ah yes, the coveted job of the officer who has the boats, the rigging, the colors, the anchors, the cables, all committed to her charge. We are thrilled that at the helm of securing all the rigging is Jeannie Boetto, Facilities Chairman. Aren't we fortunate that Jeannie is a professional in the property management biz? She owns J&B Property Management, and one of her facilities is a storage complex for her high-end clients' boy toys like motorcycles, boats, and fast cars. Last fall, Captain Monheim asked Bosun Boetto, "What would you do if a sudden storm sprang up on starboard?" And Jeannie said, "Well, I'd throw out an anchor." And so Carol asked her then, "Well, what if a storm formed in the fore?" She said, "Well, I'd throw out an anchor." And Carol Monheim said again, "Well, what if a storm came up aft?" And Jeannie said, "Well, I'd throw out an anchor." And Carol said, "Where are you getting all these anchors?" And Jeannie said, "Same place you're getting your storms." That Jeannie made all of the 2012-2013 ALHB property management projects look so easy. So we're grateful that she has re-upped for a second term of duty as facilities chairman. What little Cinderella liberty she gets is spent with her children and grandchildren. Ensign Sincata, if you please, the cap of the office of Bosun's Mate Boetto.
Where would the SSALHB be without a radio man to specialize in communications technology? Ready to take the obligation of the office is Public Relations Chairman Diane Dwyer.
An upstate New Yorker who's made California her home, Diane enlisted on the SSALHB 8 years ago. Under her command, the SEED program was started, and our communications and newsletters achieved new heights. Training for her command came from years as a manager at Computer Sciences Corporation. And as important as all this activity keeps her almost every day ashore, you'll find Diane at Flagship Healthcare Center tending to her mom. She's a dedicated daughter who extends that dedication and loyalty to family and friends. Diane says, there is no truth to this story, that as a radio man on a previous unnamed bivouac, she saw a light dead ahead on a collision course with her battleship and immediately sent a signal that said, change your course 10 degrees west. But the light signaled back, change yours ship 10 degrees east. Well, she was furious, and she sent out another signal and said, listen, I'm a battleship. I'm not changing course. And that's when the reply came back, well, I'm a lighthouse. Whether that's true or not, Radio Man Wire has it completely together when she signals the good news of ALHB. And today you can be sure that hijinks on the high seas occur whenever Diane and her high school and college friends vacation abroad. Ensign Sincata, please confer the cap of Radio Man Officer on Diane Dwyer.
The Chief Engineer Budget, or Finance Chairman to all you landlubbers, oversees the daily routine operations of the engine room and communicates among departments on the ship.
ALHB's 2013-2014 Chief Engineer Budget will be Bobby O'Connor. Before she took her commission aboard the SSALHB, Bobby was a professional salesperson for a major corporation, a loan officer, and a founding partner of Fulcrum Technologies. Bobby is another transplanted New Yorker whose job brought her to California. Since enlisting, Bobby has served on many committees and co-chaired the highly successful Corner Boutique. Her shore leave is spent between her home in Huntington Beach and her house in the desert. You will often find her cheering on her karaoke-loving and singing husband, Larry. And Bobby is a good one with numbers. She says there are 3 kinds of budgeting engineers: those who can count and those who can't. Ensign Sincata, place the cap of Bobby O'Connor.
The Chief Warrant Officer is a technical specialist who directs specific activities essential to the proper operation of the ship.
ALHB's Chief Warrant Officer will be Treasurer Mary Ann Shirley, who has been elected to this office for an additional voyage. During her 12-year tour of duty, she has served as President, Treasurer, and on many committees, including the National Assistance League Finance Committee. In fact, it was she who taught Engineer Bobby that there are indeed 3 kinds of accounting engineers. Mary Ann and her husband Bert, a great name by the way, have transplanted upstate New York high school sweethearts who found each other later in life. On her shore leave, she dotes on her grandchildren, especially our littlest honorary ALHB member, Lily. You will also find her and her crew cruising. Ensign Sincata, please present Chief Warrant Officer Mary Ann Shirley with the cap of her office.
The ship's signalmen perform the duties of outlooks. They send and receive visual recognition signals, recognize visual navigational aids, and serve as the navigator's assistants.
The SSALHB signalman for the coming year is Corresponding Secretary Norma Tui. In addition to having mastered the fascinating art of penning delightfully eloquent letters and communications of which St. Paul himself would be envious, Norma, who grew up in Long Beach, was the proprietor of an upscale consignment store in Seal Beach prior to enlisting on the SSALHB 8 years ago. Prior to this command, signalman, or to be PC, signal person, Tui, scheduled the crews at the thrift shop and served on numerous committees. At one of the Where Thrift Shop item meetings, Norma showed up in all the items she had purchased, including her bra. And I thought I hung out at ALHB. Her most recent assignment was the chair of the fashion show of the last two fundraisers. On shore leave, Norma can be found making a racket on the tennis courts. What can I say? Ensign Sakata, give her a hand.
The yeoman's particular duty is the stowage, account, and distribution of the stores of that department.
Sounds like a recording secretary to me. Yeoman Ann Luzinski retired from her career as a credit and collection manager before enlisting on the SSALHB. Prior to this command, Ann chaired many committees, including the holiday party and C. You know, the scriptwriters, a scurvy bunch of fools, I say, tried to make a joke about yeomen or recording secretaries, but they came up empty. The job is just not that funny. But Ann, let me tell you, she's a great friend of ALHB and she'll do a fantastic job. You can take that to the bank. Ensign Beth crowned her with the title Yeoman.
On the SSALHB, our third mate, purser, is the officer to receive, examine, and account for all provisions and to see that they are carefully distributed.
I know you're speaking my language. The third mate, purser, heads up philanthropy. Having been elected to a second term in office, Marianne Borcheski, or however you say it, will serve as third vice president, philanthropy. Some of Marianne's many commands during her 13 years aboard the SSALHB include Operation School Bell Chairman, Dreamcatchers Liaison, Links to Learning Chairman, and Vice President Philanthropy. Although it's not of ALHB origin, Marianne's favorite philanthropy story is about American Olympian Peekaboo Street, who donated a bunch of money to her hometown hospital's emergency center. So Peekaboo's hometown named the center after her. Peekaboo, I see you. Prior to enlisting with SSALHB, Marianne was an accountant with Robert Half Finance. Her shore leave was spent traveling and playing cards with friends and past yacht club Commodore John. Ensign Sincata, please present her with the emblem of her high office.
On our ship, the second mate, systems technician, is responsible for creating, installing, and then consistently maintaining the latest information systems. System technicians also maintain and operate all forms of communications in their area of command.
Ensign, you have just described Second Vice President, Resource Development, Harriet Willett. In addition to having more double letters in her name than the entire ALHB board, Harriet has served the SSALHB as recording secretary, bylaws chairman, and worked on numerous committees during her tour of duty. Harriet's previous assignments included Orange Coast College, Huntington Beach Junior Women's Club, St. Bonaventure Women's Council, and 45 years experience in the secretarial and publishing fields. Harriet spends much of her shore leave with her 2 kids and 5 grandkids. As a former secretary myself, I've decided to just dispense with the insipid secretary jokes and present her with the regalia of her office.
The first mate, petty officer, is responsible for training junior officers and leading the entire division of sailors and petty officers.
Well, I'm sure there won't be hardly nothing to that. First mate, Chief Petty Officer Barbara Thacker will serve as first vice president membership. Barbara comes to us from her position on the sick bay at Chuck, where she spent 28 years as an RN. When she came aboard the SSALHB, she chaired the nursing program scholarships and served on many additional committees. When Barbara gets shore leave, she frolics with her 3 children and 8 grandchildren and Bill. So sorry, Barbara, but some of that frolicking is going to have to give. And since Sincata, who's still
A cadet is an officer in training. Phil, this is a description of our president-elect. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. Cadet Marlene Ryan, our president-elect, is one of those rare birds of Southern California, native Southern California. She got her sea legs in the banking industry before joining the SSALHB. Aboard this ship, she served as social events chairman, Dreamcatchers liaison, first VP membership, and numerous other duties. Every year you'll often see Marlene dressed in red and cheering on the Angels, and that is when she and First Mate Bob are not traveling. Watch out for this one. I hear that she's already penciling in officers for 2013. Since she has so little to do this year, unless you count chairing the fundraiser. Ensign Sincata, please present Cadet Ryan with the chapeau of her office before the men in the white suits show up with their funky jackets.
The captain of a ship is the leader of the entire vessel, and the success of the ship's voyage lies on the captain's shoulders.
Well, that should be a piece of cake for Captain Doris Kennedy, who will serve as ALHB president for 2013-2014. Our Doris started her tour of duty on the SSALHB as public relations chairman and has chaired the fundraiser for 2 years in a row. Before coming to ALHB, Doris was at the helm of CalFed and the South Pacific chapter of the Guild to benefit the Seekerston Center for the Arts, among other assignments. When Doris was a landlubber, she hailed from Oklahoma and proudly references her Native American heritage. She is the ever-ready bunny with boundless energy, and she stays young forever and in tune with Generation Me because she shares her home with her teenage granddaughters. Doris has a large extended family that friends affectionately call the United Nations. In the next year, you will hear her calling out to all her crew, raise your hand, stand up, get involved. Ladies, I present for the conferring of the regalia of her office, Captain Doris Kennedy. Ensign Sincata, if you please. Members of the ALHB, please give a standing ovation to the 2013-2014
keys. The keys to everything.
Thank you. Enjoy lunch. It's been a wonderful day.